Welcome everybody to Drew's Paranormal Vlog and Bold and Bonkers. Tonight we've got the privilege to talk to our awesome Nighthawks Paranormal. What do we say? I think we've got a few people still to come in. Yeah, we'll just keep going. They're in now. Yeah, we've got the privilege to talk to Nighthawks Paranormal, who you'll probably have already seen loads of, guys, because he kind of shadows around Shadow Hunters UK and Moxley, don't you?
You do.
You all work as the same group, kind of
work
thing.
together. We work great together as a team.
Yeah. We'll get into that in a minute, guys. We'll get all the familiarities out the road first. As always, please check out the Bold and Bonkers website, but it's just boldandbonkers.com, and that'll take you to everything you need to know about the website, where we all stream to. And also, please check out and download Parapost, which, if you love paranormal, supernatural, UFO, anything cryptic, anything basically of the the unnatural or natural, whatever way you look at it, please download that app, guys. It's amazing, and it's a great platform for everybody to get to meet and to interact with evidence and different things. And it takes all the pressure and all the stigma away from places. I don't even want to say some of the other platforms' names, but it's a lot more relaxed, let's say that. So, guys, back to that. Oh, and of course, we're sponsored by W Drink. Please check out all the links and the quotas in the Bold and Bonkers channel, and it will give you some of the codes to get maybe 10% off and things. Always look out for that. So just check out W, who sponsors Bold and Bonkers, guys. And we'll get on with the interview. So, Dan, you are called, we're forgetting already. We're called Nighthawks Paranormal. How did you get your name?
It's not the first name that I've had, to be honest. Long story short, my father passed away and his nickname was Nighthawk because he always worked nights. So because when we go out and investigate, sometimes it's in the day, majority of the times it's in the night, I've gone with that.
Right. I've always thought that I've always just did Drew's Paranormal Vlog because that was the first thing that came to me. But a lot of people, they like to change their name up, a little bit of that. I don't know what fell there in my kitchen. Anyway, a lot of people like to stir it up. It takes a couple of years sometimes to find your name that you like. Welcome, Drew. Terry, welcome Terry as well. Welcome Samantha and Mings.
Hi Mings. Mings Paranormal's in.
Yeah, all your co-hosts, as I like to say, are co-pilots. Mings is actually very interesting as well, guys. Check him out. Also, Terry Screwless sings as well. So, how did you get into this, Dan? How did the paranormal start for you?
Moxley,
right? Did you have any experiences as a kid or anything?
I've had experiences in the past. I think it was a little just over 12 months ago.
Right.
He invited me out with himself and a lad called Urban Project at the time. And I got into it. I enjoyed it. And I went on another, and I got more and more involved into it. And I settled in just nicely into it. And it's a wonderful thing to be doing.
Yeah, it's a passion, isn't it? I think once you go out that initial first investigation, you can't not ever go back out again, especially if it's the perfect. My first really good place I went was the castle up at Douglas, so I instantly made a connection there. I think once you do something like that, you want to just duplicate it because it's an amazing experience.
Well, I remember my first one that I went to with him. I actually tried to revisit the other night, a couple of nights ago, and it's all been secured and sealed up and everything. Because I thought I was with Mings Paranormal at the time, and I thought it'd be nice to revisit the first location I ever did because I remember I got the feeling of being sick while I was in there.
All right.
It was crazy. I'm gutted I couldn't get back in there to do a return.
So why the first investigation then? Do you think it was because it was your first, or do you think there was something maybe pulling you back there that was unfinished at that night because it was your first place? Do you think
I,
you think,
I
oh, I've
thought
got more questions?
it would be for me to return back to there to show how much my footage, me everything has changed from me first to where I am at now. But I
Right,
know people can see that as I progress down the line, how much I am excelling in it and how I'm doing in it. But sometimes I think maybe it's nice to revisit one of your first locations. And there was just something about it that I remembered from last time of the sickness
right.
feeling that I wanted to go back and see if I still get that same feeling when I went in there.
Well, I think you're quite right because when I I've known as with Moxley and as with Shadow Hunters, I did watch a lot of you. Well, you weren't into paranormal way back then, but I can remember seeing Shadow Hunters and Moxley on Facebook. But for some reason, there was an awful lot of drama going on Facebook with the paranormal teams, so I never ever watched. I always just went to YouTube, so I never
Mm,
really seen you around. But to me, I think that if you go to these locations with other teams that's already established, such as you said you went with Moxley and things, then they've obviously updated you on what to expect and things. So was it
yeah,
everything you expected
and more.
and more? Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You think
I
it
think
was scarier?
we all originally met. I was working with Moxley, going out working with Moxley, and we went to a place called the Antwalk Mansion,
All right.
and that's where we met shadow hunters there. And then we met up and done investigations with them, and it worked well as a team, and it's just carried on going and going and going, and we're
Yeah, you
all
definitely work good together. I've noticed that
yeah,
you've all got nicknamed the Dream Team. Is that the four of you, the three groups? Shadow Hunters, Moxley, and yourself?
yeah. It's what we got nicknamed off the
Yeah.
people that view us and support us.
Yeah, I really do think you are the dream team. I mean, I understand why you don't just link up as one team because you also like to do urban exploring, which we'll touch on a little bit as well. You and Moxley, don't you? As well, Shadowhunters UK as well does the urban exploring. But is that because you prefer that type of place to investigate, or is it because you like the urban exploring as well?
I'm open to a bit of both, but I'm more swayed towards the paranormal, if I'm honest with
Right.
you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's both amazing. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong. I think it's amazing when you just walk into some of these locations and it's frozen time, you
yeah,
know.
that's true.
So, do you have gifts, Dan? Do you have any sensory gifts?
I can feel things now and again, depending on it. All depends on how strong the presence is in the property that you're in or the building that you're in. You can feel it in your gut, and it's weird. You've got to be there
Yeah,
to see it, if you know what I mean.
yeah. It is a very hard feeling to explain to people, isn't it? With me, they
Yeah.
kind of take my breath. I know when spirits around me because I did used to think that it was going to be a bad spirit because that is the way they do affect me, is because they kind of make me gasp. But
Mm,
through doing this more and more, I realise that's just, I think, my guide's way of showing me
yeah.
that they're around and I can handle it now. I can say, right, okay, that just means spirits around me and I can go on with it. And my friend, she's in chat, Shell, still, she's one of my best friends and she's one of my
Yeah.
team. She's
That's
actually physically sick. Whenever there's spirits around her, I think when it's maybe more than one or two, she actually is physically sick. So we're trying to work on that with her just at the moment. Maybe we'll
mm.
need to try something. So does anything is there any energies make you feel ill or feel unwell? Or do you generally usually okay?
I'm to be honest, the others will tell you I'm not really that bad. There's places where I go in and I've like pains and I felt things in my side, like being scratched and stuff like that. But apart from that, I'd say Moxley would be the most affected.
Yeah,
I was Amy.
yeah, I would think, yeah, I've noticed that as well. Do you think that's maybe because they've been doing it longer though as well? They've made. I mean, I think that people have got to make a connection to spirit. There's a certain you can walk out the door and start turning a spirit box on and try and get communication. And you could be lucky enough for a spirit to talk. But I do feel after doing this for 4 or 5 years now that there's a certain connection that you have to make. You have to make it, you have to like kind of find when you walk into these places the connection to the spirit instead of walking in and just expecting things to start talking, if you get where I'm trying to come from. Like, you've got to
Yeah,
walk in, introduce yourself, tell them why you're there, you know?
yeah. Well, like you'll see in our videos, we explain that we're there to communicate and to find out what happened, to hear their side of the story. But with the feeling side of it, I would say that Moxley and Shadowhunters can open themselves up a lot more than what I do. I
Yeah.
don't know whether it's because they've been doing it longer or they've had more experiences themselves.
Uh-huh.
Um,
I
it,
think it'll
it's
come.
crazy.
Yeah, I definitely think it'll come because I'm much like you. I've not been doing this an awful long time. When I started to get out investigating, lockdown happened, so that kind of put a stop to my investigating, and I just started doing little bits around my local town, and I
Mm,
can't drive. So now that I'm at a stage where I hopefully I'll get a car this year and I will start going to different locations and things. So I'm much like you in the way of I'm a novice to these locations, and I want to be able to go to these locations and weigh out the energy and things because I've only ever really felt open energy out in open air. I mean, that's the only place I've really been is like to places where it's open. So it's amazing watching you guys that you do go into locations, and especially with you being new. So, what would you say is your worst experience you've had so far?
well, first, I'm just going to give a shout out to Moxley Shadowhunters. I've just seen them in the comments there. Um, Mine would probably be Three
Well,
Sisters.
welcome everybody. Welcome Moxley. Welcome Shadow Hunters. Welcome Ty.
Yep, Ty's in there as well. Welcome in, buddy. Mine would be Three Sisters.
Right, See, that place is a bit crazy. Do you actually know the story behind it, though? I mean, look, I think it was either Louise or Emma, maybe even Moxley started to tell us the story. But excuse me, for the people joining tonight, would you like to maybe explain a wee bit about what actually happened in that home?
Oh, it's hearsay.
Mhm. Yeah,
I watching other videos that the Three Sisters were murdered there. Whether that's true or not, or I'm not 100% sure without digging deep into the history, and
yeah.
I'm not the greatest person of finding history and information out. I could actually pin that one to Amy from Shadowhunters. She's pretty fly at doing that stuff.
I really do think that was an interesting place. That was actually one of the videos I watched when I knew I was going to interview you, and I thought there's definitely a rapport in that place that you'll have to keep going back and finding the connection and getting to the bottom of it. It's as if there's spirits there that want to talk to you, but there's other ones
Yeah,
there that want to just stop all communication, isn't it? Is that the
it
one
is
where there's like a doorway and it's I can't remember who was standing at the doorway, but they felt as if they were being blocked. I
Moxley.
think Moxley, that's was it what I can remember if it was your Moxley. I mean, that's crazy. What is the vibe in there?
It was. It's a weird. It's a proper weird vibe. If I'm right, that room was downstairs as well,
Yeah, I
where it
think
felt
it
like he was
was.
being blocked.
hmm hmm Yeah, definitely. There's definitely energies I think that can overpower our guides. Either that or it is our guides that's stopping us figuring into locate these rooms and things, knowing
Mm.
that there's something there that could attack us. Do you feel as if our guides are? I mean, a lot of people do believe that they just go ghost hunting and there's no higher beings or anything around us to protect us or anything. Do you feel as if we have got guides and things, Dan, that protect us in these locations?
Say your prayers,
Yeah,
do your blessings,
yeah,
protect
definitely.
yourself. There is obviously you have your guardian angel, don't you? The people say
Yeah,
as well. So,
yeah, I feel
like I
that.
say, I'm still learning. I'm still picking up things off the others.
That's why it's interesting to talk to you as well, though, because you have followed Moxley and things for a few years, and now you're part of your own team. So it's interesting to speak to you because is it everything that you thought it was going to be and things, And where's your favourite location right now that you've been to?
Um, it's a lot more than what I expected.
Right.
It's crazy, the stuff that you hear, and what a lot of people don't see is the editing side to it. It's like
Mm,
you could walk around a building and you could have your K2 out and you could get nothing on your K2. But
right.
then when you're editing your video and you're asking questions and you've got your headphones in and you're plugged in, you're in your own little bubble and you're picking things up on your microphone that you didn't physically hear. That's weird.
It is. It is. It is. I think that a lot of the times when you hear it, you think, did I really hear that? And you have to listen to it so many times. You
Yeah.
either start saying, no, that can't be true, or you just have to put it out and hope for the best because you do doubt yourself.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just because it's the stigma of other people not believing in the paranormal. That's what's wrong with it.
That's true.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
what was
with the Three Sisters, for me, I was actually touched in the Three Sisters, and I physically felt it on my face. And when I watched, I stopped, and I was actually with Moxley that night, and I
right?
actually played it back, the part where it happened, and you can actually see the orb come up on the side of my screen where I was, and
Right.
then
That's why I'm
that,
looking at the notes because I know I watched that. Yeah, that's right. You did get affected pretty bad in there. So, what do you think that was? The one of the children?
I think I, I sort of opened myself up a bit too much
Mm-hmm.
because you relax, don't you? And you let your guards down, you open yourself up. And I think I might have just been opened a bit way too much in there.
Right, right. Was that one of your first times going out though?
I'm not sure how many times I've been out before that, but that was probably one of the first times that I've ever felt the touch.
Right. It's easy to forget to protect yourself, though, isn't it? It is so easy
Yeah.
just to walk in a place and not feel it bad or anything. So you don't tend to bubble yourself or say a prayer until it goes wrong. But then again, there could be a theory that the spirits make you feel that relaxed, especially in some of these haunted locations, so that you don't feel as if they need to pray in different things, especially maybe some of the crazier locations like did you ever go to East Drive?
No, I've not been.
Not been East Drive. Have you been to where was the other one, that crazy location? The hospital. The crazy hospital that haunted finders and that did with them. It's not a hospital, it was a school a couple of months ago there. Did you go to
Schoolhouse.
the schoolhouse? Were you
Yes,
in
I've done that.
so what do you feel about in there?
It's crazy.
Crazy. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. One with the experiences we had in there, we were all together in one room, and I think it was Moxley who secured the front passageway for people coming in. He put something up there, and we actually heard that knock.
Mm-hmm.
So he went out to check, and there was nothing there. Absolutely, not even around the building or anything. That was weird, and all the devices and equipment that we had was going off.
Yeah,
Crazy.
crazy. It's one of the places I think where either the spirits have divided themselves because it's as if all the kids' spirits are below, and then the not too bad spirits, not too good spirits are in the middle, as if and then the bad energies are above. It's as if the middle energies are the ones that kind of control the place to make sure that not the children don't meet the bad entities at the top, isn't it? It's because
Yeah.
that place was crazy. I mean, Dave out of Haunted Finders was getting attacked and things.
Mm.
Did you get attacked upstairs?
In Schoolhouse.
The schoolhouse, yeah.
I don't think I did. I think it was Moxley. He got scratched.
Mings. It was Mings and got Ming. I and got scratched. Do you
I
mean
think
you got
Moxley,
scratched, Mings?
Moxley got scratched on his back.
Right, that's what it'll be. He's
But if I'm
talking.
right in there as well, we were all in a room downstairs at the front, and then all we heard was his shh. like we were being told to shut up, and it was none of us. We all looked at each other in shock.
Definitely a schoolmaster, I would think, because that's the bit. Well, it was a schoolhouse, isn't it? So, is there anywhere that you've been to so far that you feel's pulling you back?
Demon House.
Demon, that's interesting because that's what Moxley said as well. Do you feel it's a calling though from the actual spirits as a challenge, or is it because it's just such an active place?
It's like it wants you to go back there. I've been there quite a few times. I've been there with Moxley Shadow Hunters, Mings, Haunted Finders, and there was one occasion I was there and we was on the stairs because we was receiving activity, and we actually heard someone run up the stairs behind us.
Mm-hmm. It must be one of those places that the spirits either want to talk and interact with people and get their story out, or it's one of these evil places that want to just keep on getting people back to possess them, to
Yeah,
harm them, to hurt them, you know? Could be
I
a
think
mixture.
the last time I was there was with Moxley and Haunted Finders. I think that was the last time I was there, and we were downstairs conducting a session. And before we went downstairs, we had all the equipment set up on like a little table, stool type of thing on the landing up the top, and we left it in a set way. How we left
Right,
it, and then we heard a noise, like a dragging noise, and then
right.
a bang afterwards. And then when we went back upstairs, that actual table had moved.
Wow. See, I mean, that takes a lot of energy for a spirit to do that. I'm not one for shouting demons about everything, especially noises and things. But for a normal spirit to have that sort of power to move something like that is very rare. It makes you wonder if there is some. I mean, I know some of these locations there's no demons, but it makes you wonder if maybe some of these locations there really are demons in them and they do these things.
Well, the demon house has been said that people have been in there doing rituals and stuff like that. So the question you ask yourself is, was the rituals closed down properly?
Well, probably not. Probably not. Because most of the time, these people go in there, do the rituals, don't expect anything to have worked. So when they do sit there and do these rituals, and then the energy starts to change, and they maybe do see a dark shadow in the corner or something, they get up and they
Mm.
run. So they don't close anything down. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm quite sure you've been to a few locations where there's still candles and things all on the ground. And
Mm.
that's proof that they've not closed anything down because by rights you're supposed to put everything together, put it into a secure box and bury it or let it
Yeah.
go, put it across
And
roads or
there was
something.
one night we was in there, and I think it was me, Moxley, Amy, and Louise, and we was upstairs in a room, and I think it was Moxley set his torch down, he stood it up, and we were all watching the torch because the string on the torch, it was like moving like that,
Right, very
and that
cool.
was after he'd set it down and it was all still. That was crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what do you think the most craziest thing you've seen is then so far? The craziest thing.
Uh, it's all crazy. It's all crazy.
It's all crazy, I know. Usually something that's really crazy though. With me, it was my curtain. My curtain. I kid you not, my curtain. I know wind can push it out, but my curtain came out, hand there in midair for about 5 seconds, only one curtain, and then went back in. And I
Yeah,
think thinking back, that is the craziest thing I've seen up to date with my
I
own
think
eye.
I'd probably say I'm sort of getting used to all the things that happen while we're out doing the investigations and stuff when things happen.
It's
But
crazy how you can get used to it, isn't it?
the craziest thing that's probably ever happened to me was when myself and my partner, my wife, um, our eldest daughter, she, a lot younger, we put her to bed, and then we sat downstairs and we can hear her talking.
Mm.
And then so I sneaks up the stairs and the bedroom door had been half shut. So I was like, what's going on? So I got my partner to come up and we went in and said, who are you talking to? And she just pointed upwards and said, up there. And we're like looking up, she's pointing to the light and Like, there's no one there. What are you doing? We're playing. I said, who are you playing with? And then she come out with Alan. Now, it was a shock because Alan's my father's name, and he's been passed away since 97. So my daughters have not met him,
Wow. Wow.
and that was a big shock.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think if kids have maybe got gifts, or do you think that maybe just so happened that was the opportunity that he popped in and they kind of interacted? Or do
Well,
you think
they
maybe
say
they got gifts?
kids can sense it, can't they? That's what they say.
For sure. Definitely for sure. For sure. Do you think that maybe you had things happen as a kid that you just don't remember? Because I feel that there's, we all grow up and we get into this business, right? And through research, and I've worked for a few research companies now where we do the research for a lot of the big teams to get them to get them contacts, if you like, when they go to these big locations.
Yeah.
So I find that a lot of these people, when you research it and you weigh up the data, a lot of them have had experiences when they were kids and they
Mm.
just don't realise it. And then it's maybe until when they've had their children and things later on in life, and then they're at the stage where, like me, I'm just now, where I'm like, right, what's next in life? And I think that's when it all starts to come back to you, and then it re-sparks, if you like, you
Yeah.
know?
It's possible.
Yeah.
Not that I can remember from my childhood. Like, well,
See, I
you
didn't
could be
ever
right.
think my house was haunted either. I grew up in my house and things would happen. And I've said this before, and I saw definitely in a September things would run up and down the stairs, but we never ever thought paranormal way back then. It's not until the last couple of years when we've been getting into this that I remember things like that. And a lot of people are starting to remember alien, like UFO sightings and different things where they've looked up in the sky. Like I'll say to people, do you think you've ever had a UFO experience? And they'll say, no, no, no. And then they'll say, well, wait a wee minute. One time I was looking up in the sky and this happened. And you're like, well, you did have a UFO experience then because it was something unexplainable, you know?
Yeah. I think Moxley and Amy have had something similar to that when they went out and filmed
Right.
at I think it was a care home. And it might have been, I could be wrong, it might not be a care home, and they caught something up in the sky, and it was crazy. I think it was a picture. Mox is in the chat now, so I don't know whether he could
Yeah,
verify that
let's
for me.
verify what it was. I know that Amy, when I was interviewing her, had said that she had a couple, she was interested in UFO and things as well, because I was thinking, excuse me, that one night we could get all your team up, the dream team, if you like, and to
Hmm.
have a discussion about all the different places you have been and maybe have like a kind of
Yeah,
point of view, if you like, on the different areas. So it'll be interesting to even bring that up when you are all there, just to see if you maybe can remember something as a team,
yeah.
you know?
There's one night in particular. I'm just going to say the one word and see if Mox can put it in the comment. Door,
He's at
demon
work.
house.
He's at work, he's saying.
Is at work.
Yeah,
Um, Attic. That's another one for Mox. He's a big
right.
lover of going into attics and stuff like that. But this one was a bit weird. What happened? Shadow hunters. They were there as well, so
Yeah, Amy
they
says
can
she loves UFOs. Yeah,
they can
Amy.
verify what happened.
See,
The
that's the Bold and Bonkers. That is really the Bold and Bonkers, the network that this goes out on podcast on.
yeah,
That is what they're actually based all around, is all the supernatural and paranormal.
mm,
And right now, a lot of people, more than the paranormal, are getting into the
yes,
UFO and
Mox.
things. It has took off so much this year. It's amazing. The evidence and things we're getting to research and check out the footage and things of, and it's real. I mean, Dakota puts it through all the different software and
Yeah,
everything, and these things are real, and it's crazy some of the evidence. So if you are all interested in it, we'll maybe get you up one night and
yeah.
show you it all and things, because it could be something that you have seen and you just don't realise you have seen it.
Well, Moxley's just put, yeah, it was him, Amy, and Louise finishing an invest, and they were stuck talking, and they saw something in the sky, and it was moving in weird ways.
There you go.
So that was crazy. But like I say, with the demon house, I think it was myself, Moxley, and Shadowhunters were there. Moxley went into the loft, and the loft door slammed shut behind him, and he couldn't get it open. So I had to throw my equipment down, and ran up and had to physically barge the door open.
Oh, for goodness sake. You
And
have got to be careful.
yeah,
Do
and
you
that was
feel
the
as
demon
if
house.
do you feel as if the demon house is really a demon, or do you feel it's twisted humans?
There's something proper negative there. It's not nice.
There's definitely a portal or something. Is there any evidence of the portal when you go around? I mean, I know you are pretty
There
good at
is
doing a lot of
one of the
sleep.
rooms that we go in. Someone had drawn on the floor the circle and the bits that you need for it, and we've been up
Yeah,
there, and there's been candles and everything there. So I'm
right.
thinking that's possibly the main room for it. And you get
Yeah.
a lot of the activity upstairs on the landing area between the rooms as well.
See, it's because places. I mean, what is the demon house? Is there any history to that house? Any murders or mass murders or anything? What the actual history of the house is?
From what I've been told, it was an axe murder or something that happened there.
Well, that makes sense then, because
Yeah.
usually what happens is if it's something traumatic like that, that creates the portal that goes a bit more deeper than more normal portals that just maybe go to the spirit world. These type of things can create such an energy that it does reach the pits of hell, if you like, and
If you just see what Amy's just put in the comments there, Lilith
Lilith.
has been summoned
Right.
as a ritual.
Okay. Don't get me wrong, Wealth is a good. Wealth is good. Wealth of as of every deity, every soul has got two separate sides, if you like, a good side and a bad side. So you can summon Lilith for to do good. You can summon Lilith's bad side to do harm. She has a deity, but depending on what people who worship her for, use her for is very, very bad, because a lot of them do use her for her evil side, which is unfortunate because she has got an actual soft side as well. But
Hmm.
that's terrible, yeah. Chances are, if Lilith has been summoned, then others, most spirits, entities, demons have actually got like a partner, if you like, especially goddesses and gods. So the chances are there wasn't only just her summoned, there would have been other ones there as well,
Yeah.
which will be harder to get rid of, obviously, when they've been summoned in pairs. But it
Hmm.
would be interesting to try and figure out what actually they summoned, to what ritual they did, because you can reverse it as well, though
Yeah.
it's pretty dangerous, you know.
I'm not going to mess with things like that.
No, even though I'm a witch, I wouldn't mess with things like that either. To be honest, nope, nope. I'm just a peace loving witch and try to help people. That's it. Nothing
Yeah.
negative whatsoever. That's why I'm intrigued to see. Have you ever been in any woods, Dan, where you feel anything bad?
I've been in. I don't know. I've done any. I don't know whether I've done any with Moxley or anything. I can't remember.
Right.
But not so long ago, the house that was trending on YouTube was the
Mhm.
Screaming House.
That's right. Uh huh.
I've done the woods at the back of the
Yeah,
Screaming House
I remember seeing that
ghosts,
last week.
with Ghosts on Trent,
Right.
and we just used the PSB 7 and the K2 devices for communication, asking him to guide us with the K2.
Right. See, I don't know if it's because I've said this in everybody's interview, by the way, but it's all because this is just the way it is. But around about here, it's only just all woods and things. So I've only ever had positive in the woods. I've never been in any woods except for one location where I got attacked. Where I think I'd walked into a witch's territory, but I have been back and made amends about that.
Hmm.
But I've only ever felt the woods to be peaceful, so that's why it intrigues me when I hear the likes of use guys, haunted finders and things, going into places like Demon Woods and the Witches Woods and Haunted Woods and things, because I've never experienced that. And I obviously, when I come down, I will want to go into the woods and see if I can find maybe why it's different energy down there. I know a lot of the times, especially Sherwood, the energy of people getting robbed and different things will create a certain amount of energy, you know. So what
Yeah.
did you feel? Did you go to Sherwood with them?
No, I've not been
Not
there
yet.
yet.
Not yet. Not yet. So, what would you say is your favourite type of location to do so far then? Like haunted buildings or abandoned hospitals?
I like
Anything
them
your
all.
favourite? Yes, me too.
I do. I like them all.
Yeah,
If
I
I can
like
go,
castles, so
if we can go in there, whether it's as a team or an individual, um, and we can prove or provide answers for the paranormal, then for me that's it's successful. And when it's successful, that's what I like about it.
well, that's it, isn't it? I mean, for me, it all started trying to connect to my son-in-law who died, but I'd already been trying to connect to spirit and do a bit of ghost hunting. But that's when it got serious for me. Can you remember when it got serious for you? Was it after your first actual investigation? That's you hooked, if you like.
When I first started, I enjoyed it, and I'm sure I said, "Let me know when you go out on your next one. I'll come again." And I did a couple, and then I was getting more and more into it, and then I started buying stuff, and since then I've just kept going and going and going. But it's hard to work around work as well as doing it.
Yeah, it is definitely when you work hard as well. So, what's your favourite piece of equipment so far? Then, even though there's one invented every week right now, what's your favourite?
Ah, Mox has got one of them. I quite like what he's got. It is a temperature sensor, and we
Right,
used that in the schoolhouse, and we've
right,
used it at a couple of locations. I like the REM pod and K2s.
right. Something that makes the noise and actually lets you
Yeah,
see spirit
and
there.
Spirit the S box as well. I like
See, I
that one.
always thought I would like an SLS camera, but the more and more I'm watching these people with the footage, you can see how easily it could be manipulated with different. Like, say I was filming that window, it could actually maybe mask a skeleton because of the lines and
Yeah,
things. So I think more and more people are debunking the SLS. So I
yeah.
think,
Well,
yeah.
I was in a location the other night with Ming's Paranormal, and we picked something up. I used the Ghost Tube SLS now. I'm not 100% on that whether it's actually
Yeah.
genuine or not, but I was aiming at a point and I picked up a capture on it, and then I changed it, thinking, "Hang on, is it just because of the way that is the shape of it?"
Mhm.
Put it on a different object, and nothing happened. Went back to that object, and it happened again. And then
Right.
Ming pulled out his, and he picked up the same thing. So it's one of them.
Yeah,
Is it
it's one of
real
those
or not
tools
right?
that it's just taking too much brain power figuring out whether it's real or not. When you can go
Mm,
straight to an EVP or something.
yeah.
Brings to my next question: what's the best EVP you've caught so far, Dan? Would you say?
Uh, Now you got me thinking.
I like to get the good questions in there. Welcome, Samantha. Welcome, everybody joining.
I think it was.
Welcome, Stephen. Dobie Socks.
I can't remember the name of the location, but Amy got an EVP at the same place in the same room, and hers turned out to be. I think she said hers was corrupt, but I picked up the EVP, and she heard it as well as picking it up on the EVP. Was that the college house?
Wow.
I think it was the college house.
It's always good when you get a good EVP that coincides with the questions you've asked, though, isn't it? I mean, I just
Yeah,
think that is undebunkable for
mm,
definite. I mean,
yeah.
some of them are amazing.
It's even more amazing when you actually hear it yourself.
Yeah, because it comes through your ears.
Yeah.
My first camera did that Chris had gave me. It was just an old camera it was one of the first cameras that you could actually record video on. And up at Douglas Cemetery, when I got home and I was going through the footage, I could hear them come through the camera. But the camera broke, and I've never ever been able to find one again. It was one of the first ever camcorders, but it was amazing. And as you said, you can hear it with your own ears. Best. That's the best. That's the best undeniable footage, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there was stuff we heard the other week in the caves. I've not actually looked at my footage from that yet.
You know what? You
No,
watched everybody else's.
I've watched them, yeah, but I've not looked at my footage yet. So I'm
Hat
excited
off to
to
you.
start editing that.
I couldn't go below ground or even in caves. I just couldn't do it. Even
Yeah,
when I went to meet haunted finders at the Robin Hood experience, I couldn't get in the cave underneath. And
yeah.
I just couldn't do it. I'm just too claustrophobic. So hat off to you. So what do you? Is your video? Oh, your video's not out yet. You'll not be want to talk about it.
No, it's not out yet. I've not
No.
even looked. I've not even looked at it. I've not even attempted to do anything with it as of yet.
Yeah, too busy working and things.
I've got my
No.
next video ready for tomorrow, which is set.
Yeah, that's why we did this tonight, guys, so that Dan can promote his videos. So please, everybody, go and subscribe. And then you'll be right. And hit the bell. This is what you all keep forgetting to do, is hit the bells, guys. Please remember and hit the bell. And even if you leave a comment, because that secures your subscription. Because a lot of the time, if you don't, they just take the subscription straight back off you. So please just try and watch even a wee couple of minutes and then put a like at it and set the reminders for all the different lives that's coming up, because these guys go to some of these places. I don't think you understand a lot. Is it some of the places that the likes of Dan goes to, Shadow Hunters goes to, and Moxley and goes to, it's frozen time. I mean, I've noticed that with a lot of your videos, that it's just pure frozen time. But what do you think the craziest thing that you've found in these places has been?
There's lots of different things. I mean, you can be stood there quiet and you can hear someone walking up behind you, and you turn around, there's no one there. Or you could hear something in another part of the building, you'll go to look for it and there's nothing there. And it's like when there's 3 of you, 4 of you, and you're all in one room and you're doing the same thing that session. It's startling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I've got
what
a
pushes you
question.
back, isn't it? It's
Yeah, I've got a quick question here from Ty in the comments.
Yeah, let's
Is
go,
there a
guys.
particular place you've heard about but thought not sure if you wanted to go? I've been. It was the Demon House. I wasn't too sure about doing that place, hearing the stories of it, but we've done it.
Just put all your questions in capitals, guys, and we'll get them up for them. We'll put them on the screen. So is there anywhere that you want to go to, Dan, that you've not been yet? I know there's probably loads of places, but I mean like one of the like East Drive type of thing. Would you like
I'd
to go
like
to
to do East Drive. I'd like to do that.
Right.
Um,
What about the ancient Raman? Have any of you did that yet?
no, we've not done that yet. No.
I know that's pretty expensive, though. I've heard that's one of the more expensive places to go.
Yeah,
I've got a theory about the ancient Raman. Though I think the ancient Raman is one of those places that the minute you walk in, it decides whether it's going to interact with you or not. You know, it's like one of the I've watched people that go there and they just get nothing, absolutely nothing. And then there's other people that go and they get clicks and whatever else, voices, the lot. I feel as if it's maybe one of the places that the minute you go, the spirits are either going to talk to you or they're not, or they're just not there. It's probably just one of these places that come and go.
Yeah, I'm just going to highlight what Shadow Hunters has put here. Lots of research goes into finding the locations. Now, I know Moxley and Shadow Hunters do a hell of a lot to try and find locations. It is hard work for them. I've tried looking for them and no chance.
Yeah,
I couldn't find a needle in a haystack.
That's one thing about all yous guys. You do find a lot of good locations, and you mustn't do a lot of legwork trying to find them, because a lot of these places are hidden up with country roads and things. So it'll be hard to find the places to keep all your channels fresh and renewed. You know, that is hard, and we take their hat off to you for doing that, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially Amy, Shadow Hunters has had posts up on Facebook every other day with different locations that she's been looking at, guys. So
Yeah.
please always remember subscribe to the three of them. So that is your Moxley part, your Moxley's haunted, Moxley's Paranormal World, and Shadowhunters UK, and of course, Nighthawk's Paranormal.
Yep.
Subscribe to a lot of them, guys, please.
Templar Knights Paranormal. GhostTube SLS can get false positives with some things. Should try and test it. On that particular note there, when I was talking about that before, I actually put it onto the Ming's Paranormals when we picked up him, and then went back to the structure that I was aiming at, and still picked up the same small figure, like child size figure.
Right.
So that was weird. Amy from Shadowhunters now. What's your favourite and most reliable piece of equipment? My feet, in case I need to run.
Well, that's a good answer, I must admit. What's Moxley saying? Ancient Ram and is on ley lines, if I'm correct. Yeah, you're right, it is on the ley lines.
Well, that I never knew.
Yeah, as it's on ley lines. A lot of these locations are on ley lines. What else have we got for you, Dan? Dan, is there anywhere abroad you would like to investigate? That's from our Dobby Socks.
The Rock in America.
Yeah, that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Mm.
A lot of these jails, especially the Victorian type of jails, will be haunted.
Mm.
Oh,
I've
definitely.
never done a prison.
Well, when you all come to Scotland, we'll need to do the prison that's in Scotland. I can't even remember what it's called, but we'll need to all go there. That's where we'll go. There in Greyfriars, and we'll get amazing locations. Dobby Socks, do you remember what the prison's called in Scotland? Is it Jedburgh or is it the other one? Can't mind if it's Jedburgh or the other jail. Right, here we go. Another question, Dan. Danny, any thoughts on looking at the Edinburgh caves? Heard it's haunted. Well, Ty, I've not done the caves yet either, so maybe I'll do it when you come up.
Possibly, yeah. The best thing when you're doing the undergrounds and stuff like that is to stay together as a team in case something happens. You've got to think about, if one of you gets hurt, you've got some of you around you that can help. So it's something that we'd all talk about doing when we adventure up to Scotland.
Yeah, for sure. Scotland's full of castles and things, and I think there's a lot of them that even we've got an advantage where Chris and I stay. We stay just not long over the Scottish border, so where we are in Lanark and Douglas, there isn't a lot of paranormal investigators up our way, if any. So and Chris is really good at knowing where all the different family cemeteries and things are that's really ancient, and the castles, because his father was a groundsman for up at Douglas Estate. So Chris knows a lot of hidden gems up around our area. So we've got a lot of places that's probably never even been had anybody going in at all to investigate. Especially that's what happened up at Douglas Castle. I think I was the first person to ever actually talk to the spirits up there. And I did have to apologise for being Scottish and what happened in that area, because Scottish did slaughter all the English soldiers. And after I apologised for that, I feel as if I got a lot better communication. So there's all those places I can take you to as well, and it would show the spirits that the English and the Scottish get on now as well,
Yeah. So I'm just going to revert back to that question Amy asked. Apart from my feet, I would say the REM pod devices and the K2 devices. I like them.
Yeah. Because that's what picks up the energy. I think a lot of these new, I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the likes of the music box and things, but if I'm correct, anything can set it off if you pass it. Whereas with the EMF meters and things, it's got to be spirit. I think that counts a lot as well. I think if some of these other new fancy equipment run off of just EMF, they would be a lot more appealable. But I think the ones where you just have to walk past and they go off aren't they as good as the ones that, like you say, like your EMF and things. And let's face it, the K2 is one of the only pieces of equipment that's lasted the test of time. Usually
Yeah,
everything's been changed, but the K2 has always stayed the same, so it must work.
yeah. I've actually got another piece of equipment. Moxley's got the same one as well. I don't know whether anyone watches Zach Bagan's Ghost Adventures, and he's got like this EMF meter that'll give you the temperature. I like that as well. Yeah,
Right, yeah.
Moxley's just put it in the comments as well. The EMF is the best in my eyes.
Yeah, I think the EMF is the best because it proves that that spirit there. There's not a lot of
Yeah,
other things could debunk that. Excuse me, and the thermal. The thermal camera is very interesting as well.
yeah.
Excuse
They
me.
are good then, but they're very expensive to buy, aren't they?
Yeah, I bought Tom Buckmaster's off him. He was selling it a couple of years back, and I asked if I could buy it. So I got mine pretty cheap off of Haunted Finders, but they're amazing. Put it on Burkwood Castle, and you could see where it was hot and cold, but there was also like a kind of mist, a pinkish mist went past. So if you
Yeah.
think about it in theory, that is probably spirit
Mm,
because it wasn't hot and it wasn't cold, and you could tell it was moving. So I
yeah.
think that people forget that the thermal camera could be a really good tool, especially as picking up things like that. You know, at
Yeah.
the front of buildings and things.
Eh,
I had some more questions for you. I'm trying to think.
Amy, you'll have to sneak that out then.
What's she
Amy said
saying?
she's got one, a thermal gun. She'll have to sneak it out.
Yeah, yeah. What was I going to say? Right. So, what is this? Well, did I ask you what the scariest thing was you had seen?
That I've seen.
Yeah.
Mm, I don't think it's what I've seen. It's what I've felt.
Right. Right. Tell us a bit about that.
On a location that I did with Moxley, and I actually got physically scratched.
Right.
Um, that was scary. That
Uh huh. Uh huh.
I didn't know. I mean, I went blank. I know I was talking to the camera and everything, but I was physically thinking to myself, I've got to go. I've got to go, but I want to stay at the same time and keep filming.
Uh-huh.
That was a big changer for me.
Right. Did it scare you enough to maybe think about not coming back and things?
To that location, yeah,
Yeah.
but I'd go back.
Yeah, see, I felt that when I got attacked up at Lovers Lane. I was like, well, I'm never going back there again. I'm never going back again. But I think when time starts to pass back, you start to answer, like, get questions in your head, like, why did that happen? And you end up wanting to go back to get answers. Is that
I,
like,
I even looked for reasons to debunk it from where we were walking. Was it a branch that was sticking out and stuff like that? I was thinking of everything to try and think, no, that's not just happened. I've just caught myself on something, but
right?
there was nothing that I could have caught myself on.
Yeah. I think you always do that to start with, like, right, that's it, I'm not going back, this and that. But I do think you have to go back to these places. I
Yeah,
think if you don't go back, then you've always got that fear in you or something. And to me anyway, I feel as if something thinks it's won. So I feel it's important for your own self confidence, if you like, to go back and face these people or face these entities. With me, I took an offering up with me because I did get told by my Uncle Danny, who's Danny White Wolf, he was in chat, who that it was another witch's territory I was on. So she had
right.
actually took offence to me going up there and just try to communicate with the spirits. So because I was in the wrong, I took her up an offer and I just took her up some flowers and different things. But it'll be interesting to see if the next time I go back whether she's accepted it or not. Or if I'll get attacked again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what have you got coming up in the future? What would you like to do? What have you all got planned?
Uh, I'm hoping to do some more undergrounds because I really enjoyed that, like the caves.
Right.
Maybe some more woodlands work. Hopefully some asylums.
Yeah, definitely. Uh-huh.
There's loads of things out there. It's just having the time with working as well. I know because we all work different patterns and stuff like that. So
You've got a great little community, though. I mean, I think that sometimes when you've got a good backup, like the three teams, I think these are 3, 4 with haunted finders, you've got that type of backup together. That when you go to these locations and the joy that you all have together and things, it brings out the good energy and the spirit. So I do feel as if you've got great things coming up. I really do. I feel
yeah,
I can tend to. I've got a good feel about people. And when I first seen you all share a screen that very first time, I just instantly knew in my head that this was going to be good for all 4 teams.
yeah,
You can feel the energy between you all. And you are all honest. That's the main thing, you know.
yeah.
That's so important that you are all honest.
That's it. I mean, you can get a lot of people out there that do it for entertainment, and
Mhm.
there's one thing that we all do is keep it real.
Yeah, yeah. Well, guys, I'm only going to keep Dan's interview to an hour tonight because he was at work today, and I wouldn't. And he is tired. I know he's tired.
I've been in
So,
work since 4 o'clock this
yeah.
morning.
And I do appreciate you coming up for doing that, Dan. That is, I
Yep,
really do appreciate that. Thank you very much for
no
when you
problem
have
at
a
all.
hard day at work.
It was-
So, guys, if you would like to just say goodbye to, in fact, do you want to know what we're going to do? One of the mods, please, can you quickly grab a hold of Dan's? Is your live up for tomorrow night?
It is. It's on. It's set for 8 p.m. The part 2 of the Screaming House with ghosts
Would
on Trent
one of you
and
please
things
quickly
paranormal.
grab it for me, mods, and put it in the chat so that as we're going off, you can just grab it and go over and click it, and then everybody will be there for sure.
Moxley's just asked what's my beliefs in reincarnation. I think it
Oh,
happens.
yeah, definitely.
I think it does happen. Once your spirit leaves your body, a new person is born. So is that you being reborn?
Yep. I
And it,
think there's a lot of evidence out there to say that we get reincarnated, especially when children there's my child is haunted or my kid is haunted or something. I mean,
yeah.
they children do actually remember past lives, so
Mm,
it's a
it's
big debate. We
it's
could
been
debate
said.
it for hours.
It's been
Maybe
said.
that's what we could talk about when we get everybody up on screen, guys.
I think I don't know whether it was Moxley that mentioned something that a while ago. It might have been Moxley. It might have been someone else. I'm not sure. That a kid was born, but he remembers way before he was born and stuff like that. Things that happened and stuff.
Yeah, I think it
That
was
was
Moxley.
crazy.
Yeah, Moxley said it in my chat, I think the other day there, that he had said to his mother or something that he could remember something. They're like, how could you remember that? I can't remember the story, but I know what you're talking about. And that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. There was another question as well there from Shadow Hunters. Do I think anything's ever followed me home?
Oh, wow.
Um, I'm not
Just keep
100%
it.
sure, but I have had things happen. I was in bed asleep one night and I had a picture frame nailed to the wall and it was securely on. And I know it was secure on, I did it myself. And in the middle of the night, all we heard was this loud crash in my bedroom and the picture frame had come off the wall
Wow. Was that when you were doing paranormal investigating, or was that before?
while I'm doing it.
While you were doing it?
Yeah,
Because I'm
it was
just
only a
thinking,
couple of months ago that.
because the same thing kind of happened to Amy as well. So it's maybe been one of the things where they're not getting attention for one of you, so they're passing it on to the next person to see what one of you is going to interact with it.
Mm,
Keep a wee eye on it, everybody that goes to these different locations together, because it could maybe try and get, if it is the one entity following you around, it's going to maybe try and get one of you to communicate with it. And
yeah.
if you don't communicate with anything in your homes, I do, because I know
If,
how to get rid of
if,
things.
if,
But
if anything, I'd say it's going to be more Moxley and Aimley this one.
right,
Because I'm sure there's a place we visited, and we had to go back and visit it because they were both experiencing things. Um, I've not actually asked them, has it been resolved yet?
yeah, yeah,
So
that's right. She did mention that, but I think she's still seeing the shadow. To be
yeah,
honest, But
They
as
like
I said, we can help you guys. That is what we do. Bolden Bunkers is not only just a streaming service. We are people that can help you. We are people that we do private sessions for people. We do everything behind the scenes. Not everything is for the public eye. If any of ever need help to get rid of, find out what entity is in your home, don't hesitate to mail us, because that is one of the reasons Bolden Bunkers is here, is to help
Thank you,
people with
Phoenix.
hauntings and things. Phoenix is actually one of the people we're helping right now.
Yeah.
Welcome, Phoenix, sis. So
Yeah,
if
I've
there
been
is
told
anything,
I've got two spirits in my house, but
yeah,
they're friendly.
yeah, as long as they're friendly, that's the thing. See, as long as they're friendly, they're not causing any harm, and you feel as if that there may be even a lot of these spirits wander the world not knowing what to do. So they make a connection with people, and they take it upon themselves to maybe help just guide you, maybe just protect your home or
Yeah,
protect yours, because you do these things. Not always are they there to scare you, to harm you, or whatever. They've maybe just took it upon you, like my wee Maggie spirit, to
mm,
experience life with you,
yeah,
because they died young. But if
mm,
anything ever does get too much, and this is to everybody on the podcast, then that Bolden Bonkers, we have got a lot of people under our belt. We've got demonologists, we've got voodoo priests, we've got witches, paranormal investigators, we've got everything under our belt, guys, that we're there to help. Okay, and not everything does get put out in the public, I promise you that. Just
yeah,
don't suffer in silence.
yeah. There's nothing that I'm worried about anyway in my house. So
Right. You would feel it.
yeah,
You get any animals?
yeah.
Yeah, the animals would be the first thing that you would
I've got
notice.
a zoo.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you for coming and talking to us tonight. Honest to God, Dana, I appreciate you, because you do work hard, and I'm sorry that I've dragged you away for your relaxing time after work.
No, it's okay. It's been a pleasure. Thank you to everyone that's joined in tonight on the chat. Appreciate all your comments and your questions.
Did you manage to get Moxley's, sorry, did you manage to get Dan's link for tomorrow night, guys? Put it in the chat. If not, what I'll do is I will be posting it to the description. Please go over, hit the bell, and give us a watch tomorrow night. And we will all be in chat, because
Have
we will
you?
all be sitting there and having a good time, because it's one of the best chats out there. All the Shadow Hunters, Moxleys, and honestly, Dan's. It's one of the best, friendliest chats you'll get. So
Yeah.
supportive. Well, everybody, thank you for coming. And as
There you go.
always, check out Bolden Bonkers Network, please, who are sponsored by W the Energy Drink. And also check out the Parapost app. If you love paranormal, supernatural, UFO, it is a platform that we can all talk freely on, share information, share videos. It's amazing, guys, honestly. You're missing out if you've not got Parapost, honestly. Well, thank you for coming, Dan, and I'll let you say the last word.
Oh well. Keep exploring. Everyone that does it. Keep searching for the unknown answers.
That's it, guys. Couldn't say it better myself. Right, everybody, thank you for coming, and as always, blessed be. And by the way, we've got Ghosts of Trent on Thursday, so look
Oh,
out for that. Okay,
that'll
bye
be a
bye
good one.
just now. Blessings, everybody.